is day 8 out of 100. Um, Today I spent pretty much the whole day with my cousin who I'm staying with here in Korea. And it was a really great day. But the reason I wanted to talk about it was because when I came to Korea, one of the main things that I decided that I wanted to do while I was here was to change my cousin's life. Which felt ambitious at the time of the conception of that thought. But I really wanted her to feel the same sorts of feelings I feel about myself for herself. I wanted her to feel what I feel because I think she deserves it. So today we spent the whole day just out on just like a excursion, and we got a nice meal. We went out to a place called Itaewon, which a lot of people might know. It's like the fun, hip part of Korea, a lot of nightlife. We got coffee. We went shopping for clothes. We just like walked around, like looked around at like the pretty neighborhoods, and had a nice dinner together. Looked around at the nightlife, and came home and just chilled in the living room and chatted. And I think I made a good amount of progress on the changing the life thing. At first, I was afraid to publicly announce that I had this mission to change her life. For the same reason that I was afraid to publicly say that I was starting this video series to my family and friends. I was afraid that if people knew about me making this commitment, because me deciding that I want to change your life is a commitment, I thought if I didn't tell anybody, then if I fail, then I can just like slither away into the shadows, and nobody would ever know that I failed to complete something I set out to do. But I remember on the plane ride here to Korea, I was with her, she was sitting next to me, and I remember like feeling this like surge of love and thinking like I want her to feel the way I feel about myself, and like I want to change her life when I'm in Korea. When I felt that, I thought about telling her instantly, but I hesitated because of what I just said about how I was worried that I'd publicly fail a commitment, especially a commitment towards her. But it's funny, like at that time, like since I've been on this streak of just like putting myself out there and trying things, when I felt that like feeling of wanting to hide away, I was like, no, you're gonna tell her right now. And so I told her then. And for the first week or two, I felt like I wasn't making much progress on this commitment. But in the last week, I've found the time and space to be able to tell her a lot of the things that I think that she needed to hear. And like while speaking with her, I can feel that she needed to hear that. And bringing this back to me, I think I'm proud of myself for being able to even think about and to be able to say the things that I've been telling her. Because like when you're telling someone, anybody, especially a family member, just or like anyone you're close to, when you're telling them that like just like how much you love them and how much like how they deserve this and that they like that I think that like she has or like they have the potential to do so much and just like enjoy so much of life. um I feel that like you're leaving yourself vulnerable in that moment to be judged. Like some people can't take that sort of, they can't handle those words, and they'll react with like what's wrong with you? Like why are you you're being weird. Um and so at least the way I felt about it, like I've had trouble like saying nice things to people throughout my life because I was afraid that if I said that and they thought I was weird, like I was just like I feel like I'd be a little heartbroken to just like show this expression of love and to have it be rejected. Um but I was able to say what I wanted to say, and I was proud of myself for being able to be the kind of person to be able to tell the people that I love them, and that like I wish like so much for them, and that like just like telling them how I feel about them, like being able to tell people the way I feel about them without being afraid of like how they might feel about it. um, and also being able to word those thoughts in ways that like they can accept it. Because like you can't, sometimes you got to be really careful about the way you say these things to the people you're close to, because like you're creating this space of vulnerability for both ends, and sometimes the person on the other end isn't ready to hear those things, and um, sometimes it's more easily accepted depending on the way you word it. um, so yeah, I'm proud of myself for being able to do that today, and last week when we spent more time together. Then I think actually leading into this, something that something I'd like to talk about, that I talked about with her today, is just I was talking to her about how it's such a shame that there's so many relationships, like, and I don't mean just like with like a partner. I mean with like family or friends or like even I don't know, even coworkers maybe, where like there's this awkward tension between the two of you because of some thing that happened in the past where someone hurt somebody or someone misunderstood something, and so there's just like whenever you see this person, you just like you want to avoid talking with them, or you want to avoid seeing them in the first place, or like you avoid talking about certain topics. And like to me what was funny, I mean not funny, like what was such a shame is that like with those people, that like awkwardness and tension can be like released just through like a good conversation. But and like on paper a conversation's so simple. You just sit down in front of someone and you speak to them. But there's so many people that just like can't hold those kinds of conversations to confront those things. And so like with like family members, like you have family members who like you can just never really speak to about something because you just like can't have this dialogue about whatever it is that needs to be released. And like sometimes like it's not even that neither of you can do it, it's that like one of you is completely capable of having that conversation and owning up to mistakes, or like being able to forgive, or whatever it is. Like one of you is ready. Sometimes one of you is ready and the other person isn't, and so you can just go years or like your whole life without ever being able to have this simple conversation to just clear all of that awkwardness and tension or resentment. And I remember feeling that way towards one of my family members before. It just felt so stupid because like there's so much love that we could share and enjoy with each other if we could just have this one conversation. And just because like you can't, like we're just like slowly drifting apart, and things just get awkward, and you just don't get to enjoy the time you have with them as much, and you start avoiding them. And like it's not like you hate them, like you love them, but like you can't address this like thorn you have in this relationship with them. Luckily, at least the person I'm speaking about, the person where I like start to have these feelings about, like I've I don't feel that way about them anymore. But that's just like such a common thing. Like I still have that with a friend or two, and maybe some other people in my family. Um, but it's just such a shame that all you need to do is just like have the proper conversation, and that's all that's holding you back from just so much love and just like joy and excitement and whatever it is. And sometimes it isn't that you can't have that conversation with someone else to relieve the tension. sometimes you can't have that conversation with yourself. And that's like the silliest thing to me, because I was in that position for a long time, and it's just like like what's on paper, like what's so scary about talking to yourself? But weirdly enough for me, that was like the scariest. I'm who I was most scared to speak to, like for the last few years, up until fairly recently. And the second I started to like listen to myself, I realized like oh shit, like you you know something. You know some cool stuff. You're a pretty cool person. Um, so yeah, just conversations are important, and I've been having a lot of good ones lately, and it's been improving my life a lot. So keep talking, and more importantly, keep listening to others and to yourself, and you'll probably be better off. Thank you for watching. I will be back tomorrow.